My name is Sarah Rutman, and it's a privilege to be sharing Torah with you from the Beth Tikva YouTube site in Montreal, with special thanks, as always, to Rachel Schlossberg for the beautiful graphics and to all of you for listening. Many of these ideas come from Michal Horowitz, Rabbi Philip Moskowitz, and Rabbi Y.Y. Jacobson. They say a story about a student who came to his master. He said, "I want to learn the truths of life." He says, "Sure, but before we begin, tell me why." He says, "I know so much, but I want to know more. I want to be complete." He says, "Beautiful, but can I offer you a cup of tea?" Absolutely. So he takes the mug and he starts pouring the tea, and it gets filled to the top, and he pours and pours and pours, and now it's overflowing, and his hands are wet, and his suit is wet, and it's hot. He says, "What are you doing?" He says, "What's the problem? I'm pouring you tea." He says, "You can't. The cup is full." He says, "Yes, your cup is full. I can't put anything into it." There are a lot of things a person regrets in his life. He may enter a business venture and regret it. He may enter into a relationship and regret it. But says Rav Moshe Feinstein, there's one thing I guarantee you a person never regrets in his life. He never learns a Blat Kamara and says, "Gee, I'm sorry I did that." A Mishnah and says, "I wish I wouldn't have done that." A Perek in Tanakh and say, "What was I thinking?" A kapitel of Tehillim. One thing a person never regrets is Torah learning. In this week's Parsha, Moshe is told he is going to die, and he asks for a successor. Why does Hashem choose Yehoshua over everyone else? In the book of Shmot, Yehoshua was described as Moshe's servant, a lad who would not depart from the tent. A servant is always ready to do whatever needs to be done, and what needs to be done cannot be defined in advance. You don't know in advance what needs to be done. It is a mission to boldly go where no man has gone before. And how old was Yehoshua at this point? He was 57. He was hardly a lad. The Torah is teaching that a 50, 60, 70, or 80 and beyond year old can be learning like a child. Children have the skill, the uncanny skill, to be open, to actually absorb. There's a freshness. I can actually hear something new as a child. So what was Yehoshua's greatness? He was someone who just wanted to learn from Moshe. There was nothing that was beneath Yehoshua's honor. He set up the chairs, he cleaned up, he outshone everybody because he did what they could have done. Anyone could have become a Yehoshua. Sometimes we think that something is impossible. Then you see that someone who came from the same background and the same upbringing does that exact thing. And all of a sudden you say to yourself, well, I guess it is possible, because if that person did it, then I guess I am capable of doing it as well. Says the Noam Elimelech, at the end of the last week's Parsha, everyone saw what Zimri and Cosby were doing, and everyone was paralyzed by inaction. And then they see that Pinchas steps forward, and they realize, hey, we could have done it too. The moment you see someone else do the hard thing, the impossible thing, you stop thinking, that's not for people like me, and you start thinking, wait, maybe it is.